Yes. All right, Miss Charlotte.
I had to turn my text off because I was talking to Susie.
All right, we're live. Let's go.
Ready. Good evening. We have 6 o'clock. And so because we value your time, we're going to start on time. So welcome to our first Zoom presentation of Navigate Your Future. So Joy and I work together at Curriculum and Instruction, and we're sisters in the faith of working together at CNI. So we just welcome you, and we know you're going to learn a lot tonight. So we know you're busy, and so we consider it an honor that you would join us tonight. My name is Charlotte Winkleman. I am the Director of Counseling and College and Career Readiness for the Hays Consolidated Independent School District.
Good evening. My name is Joy Harris-Philpott, and I'm the Director of Advanced Academics for Hays CISD. The purpose of this evening is to provide a general overview of course options and strategies for success for secondary students and their parents as they navigate middle and high school and prepare for college and workforce. I also want to acknowledge that here but not seen is Emily Heron. She is our Director of Instructional Technology. And were it not for Emily, Charlotte and I would be sitting here talking to ourselves instead of to all of you. So many, many thanks to Emily. Since this evening is virtual, we also want to acquaint you with the variety of online resources to explore as you plan for the 2021-22 school year and beyond. You'll notice to the right of this video feed, there is a question box. If you have questions during or after the presentation, you can put your questions in there and we will respond to them as quickly as we can moving forward. While there are many things that happen during the spring semester, the things listed here most directly affect students' academic paths toward their futures. For this evening, we're going to focus first on course selection and exploring options for that, and then we'll transition to talk of college admissions and testing. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Winkleman to talk about course selection and strategies for success.
Your counselors are going to post online electronic copies of the course sheets. Some of our schools will have hard copies for in-person learners, so you'll get more instruction on that as we get closer to February 1st. Some of our schools may post earlier than that, but just be watching your emails, your Schoology information, because you'll hear more from your counselors about when those course sheets will be available. And course sheets will also be on the Curriculum and Instruction website, along with a link to the Google Docs for each campus for the selection of courses. Each middle school and high school campus website also has the name of their counselor and their caseloads and grades. So you'll be able to check that as well on the district website. So as we talk about planning, we're going to talk a little bit more as we move on through the presentation about the planning piece that goes into course selection. Number one thing, take rigorous coursework to be a successful middle school and high school student. Joy's going to talk to you a little bit more about that as we move on down the presentation of what does that really mean. But it's not only important for your college transcript when you apply to college, but to be prepared for rigorous courses in high school, you need to start in middle school to take that rigorous coursework. It doesn't mean you have to take a full day, maybe one, maybe two, but whatever you think your child or students, you're on here too, I'm sure you're anxious to hear. You need to take rigorous coursework starting in middle school. The second thing is asking questions. That is so important. This is a little new for all of us with the pandemic and who to contact and when do we contact in Zoom or can we call or can we email? But we want to encourage you to ask questions. As Joy mentioned, tonight we'll have a doc that you can ask about this presentation. But I always encourage you, and your counselors and principals encourage you to contact your counselor through email or Google Doc or however they set that up. With the planning piece, our middle school students and high school students do a college interest inventory. They do a career interest inventory. They do a learning styles inventory and a personality interest inventory on Zello.com. If you have been in the district for a while, you might recognize the name Career Cruising. So it's the same product, but with a new company and a new look. So all 7th and 8th graders will have an opportunity to do that. Then when they get in 9th grade, they will continue on Zello.com. You'll get more information on that website as we begin to plan. And your high school counselors then will make appointments with parents and talk to parents about courses for high school and applying for college and FAFSA and all those very important things. And we'll talk about that later as well, kind of doing it in pieces. I encourage you, we have Meet Your Teachers. Well, we're in a new world here. So Meet Your Teachers can be on Zoom. It can be by email. It can be a telephone call. But we do encourage you to tap into your counselors because they have a lot of free resources for you and a lot of information for you. After the PSAT 8-9, which Joy's going to tell you more about that date, and 10, and our juniors have taken it in October, we have a wonderful product that we want you to experience, and that product is called Khan Academy. Those two things should be a go-to for you while you're home with your students or when you talk to your students. Khan Academy is free information about the scores on the PSAT, how to study for the SAT. Some of what's on the SAT is also on the ACT, so studying with Khan Academy for SAT can be applicable to ACT. And any core class that you have in high school, there's study skills and study questions on Khan Academy. So there'll be more information coming out about logging on. Joy will tell you more about that as we move on.
Thank you. One of the things that Ms. Winkleman mentioned on the previous slide was taking rigorous coursework, and we're going to spend some time now talking about what that looks like. At the middle school level, it looks like taking advanced courses. While we have called some of these courses pre-AP in the past, they are now simply called advanced. These advanced courses are designed to help students be more successful in advanced placement, dual credit, and in dual enrollment classes in high school. The best way to prepare for college while in high school is to go ahead and prepare yourself for college level courses by taking the college level courses in high school. According to research conducted by the University of Texas, students who earned credit from a dual credit or dual enrollment course were 2 times more likely to persist in college. Students who scored a 3 or higher on an AP exam were 3 times more likely to persist in college. And students who had credit from both dual credit or dual enrollment and AP exams were 5 times more likely to persist in college. Whether or not a student gains college credit from a college level course taken in high school, students do benefit and are more likely to stay in school regardless because they've experienced the level of rigor of the courses, they've experienced what it is to go and talk to a professor about the course. It's just good preparation. And from a parent perspective, I would rather my kids have the experience of encountering college level rigor while they are still at home, and I can help support them in that rather than encountering it for the first time when they are away from home. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 ways in Hayes CISD for students to acquire college credit while still in high school. That's through advanced placement classes, through dual credit classes offered through Austin Community College, or through dual enrollment classes offered through the University of Texas. These are called on-ramps classes. We have a chart that compares the 3 types of courses. I realize it's sort of small on the screen, but it is linked on our website, and I will show you how to reach that before the end of the presentation. I will not read all of this teeny tiny print to you, but I do want to draw your attention to the differences in the courses. Note that the college credit is awarded differently in 3 options. For students in an advanced placement course, to earn college credit, they have to score 3 or higher on an advanced placement exam. Note that state universities in Texas accept a 3 on an AP exam for credit, but private universities and those out of state may require a 4 or 5 to gain credit. There is a link on the College Board website where you can explore every single college and how that college uses AP scores. In dual credit courses through ACC, the student earns 1 grade that appears on both the high school transcript and on the college transcript. And in dual enrollment courses through the University of Texas, the student earns a high school grade and a college grade. And if the college grade is passing, the student can choose whether or not that grade will go on a University of Texas transcript. Please note that to be eligible for a dual credit course through ACC, a student must have either 1, made a certain score on the PSAT or scored at a passing level on the TSIA2 exam. Students do not have to have a certain exam score to enroll in AP or on-ramps courses. So people often ask me, well, what type of course, AP, dual credit, or on-ramps should my student take? And my answer would be to take a variety. We've already seen the research from the University of Texas about the students' ability to persist in college after taking these courses. Note, though, that some courses are only offered in 1 or 2 ways, and some can be taken all 3 ways. For example, in Hayes CISD, a student can only take college-level chemistry through advanced placement, whereas a student can take college-level U.S. history through AP or dual credit or on-ramps. Something that's very important to note, whether you love math or not, is that students who take 1 year of math beyond Algebra 2 are twice as likely to get a college degree or certificate. Make sure you take a math course every single year of high school. And remember, it is not a good idea to have a gap year between your junior year of high school math and your freshman year of college math. You do not want to do that. So take math all 4 years of high school, whether you love it or whether you have a more complicated relationship with it. When you're thinking about which advanced courses or which rigorous courses to take, think about what your goal is. Try to take the courses that best help you explore what you might want to do in the future and what will help you as you move into college. As you progress through high school and begin to narrow your list of colleges to which you'll apply, see what their credit transfer policies are. Keep in mind that while any core class taken at ACC or on-ramps will transfer to public colleges and universities in Texas, the course may not be within the requirements of the major that you want to pursue. For example, a general associate's degree will include a fine arts course like music appreciation. Those hours will transfer to another college or university in the state of Texas and in many out-of-state schools, but the credit may not help the student toward his or her major. So as you start to become more aware of what your major wants to be, kind of look and see which courses will help you get further toward that major. Or let's say that you are wanting to go into engineering, and you look at engineering, an engineering course, and you see that they're going to want you to take their calculus class, even if you took AP calculus in high school. Even knowing that, you still might want to take that AP calculus class in high school because it may help you be better prepared going into the calculus class that you're then going to take in college. So it's not just about acquiring the credit. It's mostly about, honestly, acquiring the preparation to do well in college. And as I've always mentioned, parents, go ahead and allow your student to experience these kinds of challenges while they're still with you, and you can help support them, if not in terms of content, in terms of moral support or some structure at home. We do have supports for advanced coursework at school. PATH courses are specifically designed to offer support to students seeking more rigorous opportunities in high school by providing note-taking and other study skill strategies, as well as support in preparing for college entrance exams, writing college application essays, and completing applications for student financial aid. And as Ms. Winkleman said earlier, the very best support is keeping an open line of communication with teachers and showing up for tutorial times. Even if you're doing well, show up anyway. I can personally attest that when a student learns to communicate with teachers and professors in high school, she carries those self-advocacy skills into college. I saw it happen with my own college freshman this year. When those registration sheets are posted in February, be sure to check out our new course offerings. African American Studies and Mexican American Studies are both being offered both as on-level and as dual credit courses. AP Seminar is designed to allow students to develop and practice skills in research, collaboration, and communication needed across academic disciplines. It prepares students for AP Research class, which will be offered the following year. In AP Research, students conduct their own academic research tailored to their personal interest. I will also say here that we offer courses, but the classes have to have a certain number of students to make. So if only 3 students sign up for a class, it's not going to make. So students, if you see a class about which you are super excited and you really want to take the class, then you round up your friends, like have enough of you sign up for it that the class will make. And then when you're deciding about your courses, think about the big picture. Don't just look at the classes that your friends are taking or that, just for the heck of it, like I need something to fill my schedule. One of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver, asked the question in her poem, "What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" A little bit closer to home, a colleague in another district observed that instead of asking, "Where do you want to go to college?" we should be asking, "What career do you want?" And then helping students identify the coursework and programs that will get them to that point. High school is the perfect time to explore a career that interests you. You may not end up going into that career, but better to know while you're still in high school than when you get to college and are paying for the courses that are helping you figure out whether or not you want that career. Programs of study align career and technical education classes across a variety of fields with academic coursework. The Navigate Your Future guide, which I'm going to navigate now and start sharing. Let's see. There we go. Am I good, Charlotte?
Yeah, wonderful.
Awesome. All right. So this guide, which we'll show you how to get to on our website, is the new Navigate Your Future guide. It's been updated this year beautifully. So when I was growing up, and still, I've always loved growing plants and being around flowers. At one point in my life, probably in high school, I said that my goal was to own a flower shop and write children's books. Clearly, things didn't quite go that direction. And I honestly had no idea how I would even go about learning floral design or having a flower shop. If I were in high school and that were still my goal, I could go to page 6 of this Navigate Your Future guide. So let's go there now. Scrolling. While I'm scrolling, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Merritt and Avery Barrera of our CTE department. They are new to us, but very experienced in CTE, and they revamped this entire thing this year. It's a really beautiful document. Before I get to page 6, though, and look at the thing that really interests me, I need to pay attention to credit requirements. This is on page 4 of the document. And no matter what your interest is, in high school, you're going to have to have 26 total credits, and 20 of those are pretty much determined for you. You're going to have 4 credits of English, 4 of math, 4 of science, 3 of social studies. You can see, but then right down here, right at the bottom of the screen where it says electives and required endorsement courses, that is your place to explore. That is your place to go and see what it is that you may be interested in. So I said I wanted to own a flower shop and write children's books. My English classes have me going on writing children's books. So let's learn about the flower shop thing. If I look at these programs of study, again, this is page 6 of the guide, I can see all of the different programs of study beneath each endorsement. The endorsements are these blue and red things. So they're the broad areas in which students receive endorsements when they graduate from high school. And I look and I find plant science under agriculture, food, and natural resources. So if I click on plant science, because that's what interests me, it takes me to this place in the guide. On the right, it shows the courses that I would need to take to complete the pathway in plant science. Right here, there's a video that shows me what students in those courses do. I clicked on this video earlier today, and I would encourage you to play within this document. And it showed all these awesome floral designs that students have created here, and like them working on them in class. So if I want to see what the classes are like, clicking on that video is perfect. And then I see what kind of industry certification I could get while still in high school, what kind of certificate, what an associate's degree with this might look like, what a bachelor's degree might look like, and then what a doctoral or professional degree might look like in this. It's interesting, as Charlotte and I were going over this earlier today, it occurred to me that my brother actually did what I wanted to. He has a PhD in rangeland ecology. So he actually followed my plant science trail. But anyway, you can also see, in addition to what education you might have, the occupations, like what jobs might you get with this? And it also shows how much the median wage for those jobs, how many openings are there in those jobs generally. I'm not sure within what geographic area, and then the percent of growth in the field. So, and then let's see. Let's go back up and look at the courses. So if I click on the different courses I have to take, this takes me to the Career Technology course guide. And it shows me the different classes that I'll need to take for this pathway. I'll notice that the floral design course also counts as a fine arts credit. So it would show up in that earlier list of requirements. It would take care of the fine arts credit that I needed. And if I scroll all the way down, and here I want to give a shout out to Kathy Alexander and to Shauna Weebush, who are our coordinators of secondary math and science respectively. They worked with Ryan and Avery to align our math and science courses. So in those required classes, you've got to have 4 math courses, you've got to have 4 science courses. Well, here's the math, algebra 2 and beyond, that readily goes within this path. And here are the science. So you can see advanced plant and soil science, and then AP environmental science, or those math and science courses that best align to this. So you can see with that one floral design class, you took care of a fine arts credit. And then these are the math and science courses that best align to this interest. All right, I could go on and on about this all night. I highly encourage students and parents to get into this guide and look at it. Let me go back to our presentation. Oops. And turn it back over to Ms. Winkleman to talk about post-secondary opportunities and college admissions.
Thank you, Joy. You know, I'm glad that we reframed this slide, because I think it's very important that college is just not a 4-year university to us. College is any post-secondary, whether it's a university, it can be a 2-year school, it can be a technical school, it can be a school where you advance your skills. It can be any post-secondary opportunity. So I think it's very important that we don't leave here tonight and you think that we were just talking about a four-year university for our students for graduation, because that's not where we are in Hayes CISD. If you look at our mission statement for the district, it's about preparing students to be productive citizens and being prepared for graduation. So we wanted to make that clear. So it's important as we're going to talk about college admissions testing, but before I get to the testing piece, I just want to say that later on in this program, we're going to talk about how to get to the college admissions piece and how to talk about the financial aid piece. But the college admissions piece, our district is very generous, and we are very fortunate that our district pays for all of our 8th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, and seniors to take the SAT. And now our juniors are going to take the SAT in this spring for the class of 2022. And those are your dates. I'm not going to read you those, but those are your dates. So it's we're fortunate. I also want to mention, because of COVID-19 and the disruption to our testing, many colleges and universities have backed off on those tests as a requirement for admission. Now, I do want to warn you, though, juniors, sophomores, and seniors, if you're watching this, I hope you're helping someone out there, because I'm hoping that you have already applied to college. But if you haven't, great. Then you're going to find out some information here that will help you. But they're backed off a little bit. But I do want to warn you that if you're not in the top 10%, which is an automatic admission requirement in the state of Texas, UT is still set at 6%. Some colleges and universities may ask for your most recent SAT or ACT score. If you are looking at a certain scholarship award, merit award in college, then that may be important to you. But Joy's going to talk a little bit more about the PSAT scores, the national merit, and just kind of cover that. And then I'll come back and we'll talk more about post-secondary admissions.
So Charlotte's given me a great running start here, as you can, in talking about the different grade levels for testing. We do offer the SAT suite of assessments starting in 8th grade. Once, and Charlotte mentioned this earlier about Khan Academy, once students have taken the PSAT 8, 9, and 8th grade.
Free, it's free. Sorry.
That's her word for the evening, is free. They may link their scores to Khan Academy, which is free, to practice in areas where they need more support in taking the PSAT or the SAT. According to research conducted by the College Board, students who spend 20 to 30 minutes a day practicing in areas where they need more support in the 6 weeks leading up to the next PSAT or SAT increase their score by an average of 100 points. I'm going to put on my parent hat here and offer some cautions for some who may have kind of controlling helicopter issues like I do. As a parent, you can set up an account in Khan Academy, and your student can set up an account, and you can link the accounts, and you can monitor what your student is doing. I can talk you through how to do that. But the student is going to need to want this themselves. I would invite you not to make this a bone of contention in your household. It is a wonderful resource, but I don't recommend making it a battleground. I would also say that you create an account on Khan Academy, and based on your scores, it gives you a list of recommended topics. Students, for this to actually be effective and to give you that 100-point boost or more before when the next time you take the test, keep in mind that you need to work on the things that you're still not as good at. If you work on the things that you're already really great at, it's gonna be a lot more fun, but you're not gonna get as much bang for your buck. So plan to spend the time working on those things that are still challenging for you. And don't overdo it. The College Board recommendation is just the 6 weeks before you take the next test, only 20 to 30 minutes a day. This is studying in bite-sized chunks. Don't try to cram it all in, and don't make yourself miserable doing it. because you don't want to associate misery with test taking any more than you might already. The other thing that I'd like to say, and this is putting my professional hat back on, is that normally we offer the PSAT 8-9 and the PSAT in October of each year. Because we had so recently returned to school, to campus this past October, we elected to move the test to January of this year. The PSAT 8-9, as you see on the screen, will be administered to 8th grade students next week on January 14th, a week from today. And the PSAT will be offered to 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students on January 26th, 2021. The PSAT date is set by College Board and cannot be moved. I do apologize for the proximity of the PSAT to final exams, which were also moved to accommodate the changes to our school schedule this year. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Winkleman to talk about college admissions.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy. What we're going to talk about tonight on college admissions, I just want to do a little disclaimer for just a few minutes. College admissions belongs to the university. We try to help you along. We'll help you do the planning. We'll give you names of our recruiters in the area that you can talk to personally. Your college and career counselor has that information. We can connect you. We encourage you to go on the website. Big Future has an incredible website with College Board. There's college fairs coming up with Big Future. So we encourage you to do the investigation piece, because I think that's very important. And we're just going to give you like a top view up here of what to be prepared for. But honestly, I want to ask you to be sure as you apply to contact the university, representatives from the university, if you have those questions about what do I really need to get in. Because like I mentioned earlier, even though your student may not be in the top 10% of the graduating class, they still need to apply. In that next level of round of admissions, they may ask for more information. So apply anyway. I can't encourage you. I can't encourage that enough. Again, we talk about endorsements because it's a state law that every student have at least one endorsement when they graduate from high school. But that endorsement will not be their admission into college. It's like icing on the cupcake or icing on the cake. Besides being a good opportunity for students while in high school and doing some really fun things with what they love to do, that is important to be on the transcript. So I just wanted to clear that piece up. The colleges right now have, besides not requiring what they used to require as far as strictly that SAT score or that ACT score, they have backed off on that, but let me tell you what they haven't backed off on. They haven't backed off on that rigor of course taken on the transcript. That is still important to them, because what that says to the university is you took the highest level of course that you could take. You pushed yourself. You stretched yourself a little bit. You did some research. So it's important that you take the highest course of rigor, the course of rigor that you're comfortable. I'm not saying take 6 AP courses your junior year and be so worn out that you can't sleep at night. I'm saying talk to your parents, make those decisions of what works best for you and your family. But rigor of coursework is important. Grades, oh my goodness, let's talk about that in college admissions. I'd like to skip the rank part, but I'm not going to. The state of Texas has a law of automatic admissions, and what that means is that students in the top 10% in the graduating class, not 10.6, 10%, we don't round up, it's the top 10% in the graduating class, are automatically admitted. You have to apply. That's a little glitch in there, right? You have to apply, complete the application process. And for UT, it still remains at 6%. It's been at 6% for about 2 years. Mm-hmm. It still remains that. But what they normally do is they take, and I say normally, again, we're not in control of admissions, but what they normally do is they take that transcript and they recalculate your grades according to their matrix. They may not look at electives, but they may look at certain electives if you're applying, for example, to the College of Engineering, the College of Business, pre-med, pre-law, they may look at those courses in your endorsement area. But for the most part, they take your grades and they put those on a matrix and they recalculate those. But the rank is important because what it says to a university or a college or post-secondary opportunity is that you worked very hard during high school and there were X number of graduates. And even though you're not in the top 10%, you worked very hard to get into that percentage. And they look at that. And so the rank is important to them other than the top 10%. So I know I'm talking too much, but I just want to make that clear. Quality of essays. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how important the essay is that you submit on your college application and on scholarship applications. Many of our scholarship applications ask for essays that are not the same as the high school application process into university. So just taking those essays that you wrote for college admission and then dumping them in a scholarship essay, that is not going to cut it. And putting the wrong university of choice on there for another university, that's not going to do it either. So make sure you're very, you take a lot of time with your essays, talk to your English teacher, talk to your junior English teacher. You don't have to go just to your senior English teacher. Go to, if you took journalism, go to your journalism teacher. Make sure somebody else eyeballs that essay before you hit the submit button. Because in the world of technology, I haven't done a college essay in a while, but I have hit the submit button before I meant to hit the submit button on a lot of things that I've done. So I just want to encourage you to get somebody else to look at that essay. Spelling, grammar, very important. I serve on several national and state scholarship process groups where we screen applications. And I can tell you there's some people on those application committee, all they look for are misspelled words, grammar, things out of sync. Did this even make sense to them? So the essays are really, really important. Many of our colleges and universities include their college essay. Apply Texas is one of them, about extenuating circumstances or what was your challenge. They're not going to use the word as extenuating circumstances, most likely. They're going to say, what challenges have you faced or what challenges have you run across? I think that's real important if you have had a challenge in high school, middle school, elementary school, in your family, that you write about that. Because you know what? That essay, they don't know you. So when they read that essay, they want to know you by that essay. So make that essay very personal, make it jump out at them, be as creative as you need to be. I've read some essays about the creation of a tomato farm. And it's like, why are you writing this? But as they wrote it, you understood that they're different and that they had great ideas of what they wanted to do after graduation. So those are important. Involvement in extracurricular activities are important. That's what we normally call a resume. But what colleges are looking for, they're looking for leadership. Were you the president? Were you the secretary? How many years did you serve on that? Did you show any passion? For example, did you do community service? They're looking for community service, especially now. So if you did that, they want to know about that. Did you work? That's a big deal. You worked and you went to high school, you had to balance some things. You have a lot of community service. You had to balance some things. You stepped out of your comfort zone. I know with COVID, a lot of things that we used to be able to do for community service, we have not been able to do just because of distancing and because we just are not allowed in some of those places. But a lot of our students are doing community service online. They're reaching out to different agencies and saying, what can I do from home to reach out to folks? So all of those are important. This sounds silly, but I got to say it. All right. Complete the application. Again, we talked about submit. Don't submit that before it's complete because it's gone. Okay. You can add some things. You can add addendums to your applications, but that doesn't finish the application. Okay. The deadlines are really important. Colleges, we're not in charge of their admissions. When it says that scholarship application has to be in by April 2nd, you better have it in by April the 2nd. So those things are those deadlines are really important. And I know I seem to have gone on and on, but I just want you, if you'll go back just one more, I'm sorry.
Nope,
Oh,
I skipped, sorry. This is my fault.
No, that's okay. Let's talk about the Apply Texas application. Joy is going to show you later as she takes you through the website. She's going to show you where we have made this so easy for you on this slide. You just hit that little icon and you will get into Apply Texas. But it's important that you meet that deadline. For the last 2 years, not including this past summer. So we were still in COVID pandemic. But before that, the Apply Texas opened on July the 1st. They haven't told us this year what that deadline is going to be. So if I was a junior, I would plan on July 1st as being that deadline for that application open. Now, if the pandemic is still there, and it may be, they may stretch it to August the 1st, but I wouldn't plan on that. I would be ready. Some of the universities look at that July 1st as opening the gate to specialty major schools, such as the School of Engineering at a certain university, or the School of Pre-Med, or the School of Business. Those are very competitive majors. And so those competitive majors are more interested in that July 1st deadline. So just be aware of that. Some of the universities will say November is our deadline. Some will say October, and that's okay, but just be prepared. Also, something brand new from the state, change is good, right? That's our mantra, change is good. We're living on change right now. But the state of Texas, starting with juniors who will rise to be seniors for the class of 22, you can't graduate unless you apply for the FAFSA or you have a waiver that says that you're going to apply for another application, like there are some private applications for private universities, but the FAFSA is required. And I just want, and I think Joy's going to mention this, but the FAFSA, some parents, and she's going to say this, I think, so I'm not going to steal the thunder too much. But
you're already there. Go ahead.
Have said to me, we're sisters, right? Some of the parents have said to me over the past, or students have said, I know I won't qualify. My parents make too much money. I don't want to do that. It's too difficult. Every year, the federal government keeps slicing FAFSA so that more things are pre-coded. So it's become easier and easier and easier. And once you do it your senior year, you're going to have to do it again once you're in your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year. And a lot of that is merit-based scholarships, work study programs. If you want to work on campus at all, or you want not even a merit-based, but you just want any financial award, you're going to have to do the FAFSA. So Joy's going to show you later in the presentation how Sabrina Pettis from Lehman High School has created a video that's going to walk you through that FAFSA. So you can't do it till you're a senior. I know sometimes we want to get a run and jump on it, but what you need to do that by October. It's going to open in October of next year. So begin getting that data pulled together. And again, any questions about the FAFSA, I would direct to your college and career counselor on your campus, and each high school has a college and career counselor. So I would address them to those, but your lead counselor on your high school, any of your counselors can help you with the FAFSA.
All right, so we have just thrown all sorts of information at you. Emily and I were texting just now, and she said there have been a couple of questions about where the recording will be posted. Well, the recording will be posted right here where you're watching it, and we're also in the process of making sure that the slideshow is underneath that. But let me show you what else we have on the website. Charlotte mentioned a couple of videos, so let me navigate to that. Okay, I'm already there. Fantastic. We got the Navigate Your Future website up, Charlotte?
No.
Nope. Okay, well, let's do that then. Now,
Yes.
there it is. Okay, this is the website that you are on right now. And there we are. And oh goodness, and here we are. So if you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, there are two buttons, and there's also those same two are repeated up here at the top: course selection and strategies for success in middle and high school, and preparation for success in college and career. Click anywhere, either of those places you want. On the course selection page, you will see when course selection guides come out in February, you will find them here. There is a video here on graduation requirements put together by Roxy Heiser, who is a counselor at Lehman High School. It is, when I pointed out the graduation requirements on page 6 of the Navigate Your Future guide, she goes over those in great detail and explains different ones and things to think about. Highly recommend that. And then Charlotte mentioned rank, GPA. So this video here is put together by Stacy Lomax Wendell of Wallace Middle School. It is a great little 6-minute quick tutorial on how to calculate GPA and weighted courses. So those things are there. That's just kind of general course selection and GPA. And then the second tab, preparation for success in college and career, addresses those things that we've talked about most recently. So we have the Navigate Your Future guide that I showed you how if I were in high school now, I would be going the plant science route. And so it's here. It's also, you can scroll it right here on the screen. You can also pop it out so you can see it in its big full screen glory. I can't recommend it enough. There's also a video here put together by Ryan Merritt and Avery Barrera, who I mentioned earlier, explaining how to use this guide in more detail than I spent. Any information on college classes in high school is right here. You can see that chart that I was showing, both charts actually. And this also pops out, so you're not trying to read teeny tiny font on the screen. If you want to learn more about AP classes, this takes you to the College Board website, and it talks about, as it says, what is AP. Our friends at Austin Community College and the University of Texas both sent us videos. Normally they would have been talking with us here. So here is the video from Austin Community College talking about their dual credit courses and opportunities. And here is the video from the University of Texas at Austin talking about the On-Ramps dual enrollment program. We have, again, the schedule for college admissions testing, and each of these is linked to a description of the test. And then here is the link that explains how to link your scores to Khan Academy.
Free.
It is free. Don't let it become a battleground. Use it for good, not for evil. And then if you are a junior in high school, if you know a junior in high school, or if you're a senior and haven't applied yet, this section is for you. We don't tell Charlotte that you haven't applied if you haven't yet. So the class of 2021, hopefully you're already well underway on this. If you are not, we can get you there. Let us know. Class of 2022, this Apply Texas opens on July 1st. And many public universities practice what they call rolling admissions. So they look at the first round of applications that come in and admit some people, and then they look at the next round. So on July 1, go. If you are ready, you may have it. You may want to take the test one more time in August or something. But by and large, like Charlotte says, if you were trying to get into a competitive program at a university, a public university in Texas, you're going to want to hit this around July 1st. Beware if you are applying for some schools that are out of state or private universities, they may have other deadlines. So all of your friends may hit submit on July 1st, and you may not be able to hit submit until October or November. So know that it's okay. Don't let us stress you out. We also talked, and Charlotte talked about the FAFSA form, the free, Charlotte's word, application for federal student aid. What she has said is absolutely 100% true. even if you parents don't think you qualify for any aid, you still need to fill this out, because if your student gets merit scholarships based on their, GPA or an amazing essay they write, or if for, aid because they're interested in a very specific field, if that aid flows directly through the university, you have to fill this out. Even if you don't qualify for need-based aid, you still have to fill that out. The video that Charlotte mentioned by Ms. Perez at Lehman High School right here on the financial aid process is wonderful and detailed, and I wish I had this last year when I was a parent of a high school senior. I cannot recommend that enough. And then, we haven't talked about this yet, there is something called the College Board Opportunity Scholarship. And obviously it's done through College Board. It doesn't flow through universities. And just by doing things to prepare yourself to apply to college, you get entered into drawings for scholarships. So you get entered into the drawing when you complete a list of colleges on the College Board website. You get entered in a drawing when you spend a certain amount of time on Khan Academy. I mean, so this is the link to get into that. And this is another video by Ms. Perez that explains the scholarships really well. And you can see she's got the rolling deadlines for it and the different timelines. Class of 2021, if you're seniors, there are still a few things you can do for this year. Juniors, this is largely for you. At this point, the College Board Opportunity Scholarships is really all about the class of 2022. While we're talking about the class of 2022, we want to show you one other opportunity about which we learned this week, actually. And that is a virtual college fair put on by College Board. Normally at this time of year, Charlotte would be loading people up on buses to go to the NACAC College Fair. It's a great big college fair that happens in Austin. We would have had college fairs at Lehman and at Hayes, and that hasn't happened this year because of the pandemic. So College Board has let's see, let me get to this for everybody else to see, come up with the something called Big Future Days. It's a virtual college fair. And honestly, you kind of get to see more virtually than you would if we were in person, although you don't get to pick up all the pencils and stickers. So that's kind of a bummer, but you get to explore more colleges. All the information is here. This is not yet linked on our website, but we will get it linked. We, like I said, we literally just got this information and said, oh, this is super pertinent. So, but you can, February 6th, there's a college fair that deals with schools in this region. March 11th, there's one that deals with schools in this region. There's one February 23rd for the Southeast, and there's one March 7th for the Northeast. And we'll pretend it's not all snowy and cold up there right now. So, those that we just wanted to let you know of that. It is linked in the PowerPoint, and the slides will be posted for that by tomorrow, but we wanted to make you aware of that.
And know too, Joy, that the counselors are posting all of these things on their websites at each campus. So if you go to each high school campus and you go under counselors or college and career, you'll be able to get these same posts. I did want to mention two more things before we leave. If you are a senior out there or a senior parent, ta-da, February 1st, local scholarships. So if you're interested, and I hope you are, don't say if you're interested, because you are interested in getting money to go to college, whether it's $100, $50, $200, all of those add up.
Any dollar helps.
Any dollar helps. Those will open on February 1st. And those will be posted on the high school college and career under that button where on the website, and you can go and look at those. And the deadline for those is before spring break. So I encourage you to be prepared for that. And one more thing, some of our parents have expressed an interest in their son or daughter, or the kids have expressed interest in taking the ACT. Tonight, we've talked a lot about the SAT, the PSAT, the College Board products. But ACT is still out there. It is accepted by all universities. Some students like the ACT. So they just opened up their testing sites in person. So I encourage you to go on the ACT admissions test website, see what's open. You don't just have to go to Lehman to take that test. We offer it at Lehman on certain testing days, but if you want to go to Boer, you want to go somewhere in the general area, you just register and pay for that test. Free and reduced lunch also has an opportunity for you to get a discount for those. So I encourage you, if that's what you want to do and you want to take both. A lot of our students take both, and that's cool. That is great.
I would,
She's used to say, oh, I want this or I want this. They really don't do that anymore. Unless it's like a school of medicine, they may want the ACT because it talks about that science piece, but they're going to ask you for that information. So I want to encourage you to think about the ACT as well in case you want to take that test. I'm sorry, Joy. What?
No, I was just going to absolutely concur with what you're saying. I would, we have the opportunities for PSAT and SAT on campus, largely because PSAT is the avenue to be in the running for the National Merit Scholarships, and it helps prepare, it leads right into SAT. So we do that. But as Charlotte said, preparation for the SAT will help you on the ACT. My kids studied and prepared, and I yelled at them about Khan Academy and did both. And the preparation for the SAT really benefited us on the ACT as well. So,
and there are free study guides on the ACT website. So if you really are set on just taking the ACT, that's fine. Go on their website and you'll see study guides, and there will be some study guides on there that are free that you can also use if that's what you choose to do. One last thing, and then I'll quit talking. I promise. I mentioned Zello.com for 7th and 8th and 9th through 11. If you want to go in and look at that tonight, I know you're going to, right? Or sometime it's just Google Zello.world.com and it will take you to that website, and you'll be able to see what inventories are there and log in. Parents have logins, students have logins. But the best thing to do is to contact your counselor, your 7th and 8th grade counselor, and they can help you with that, and your high school counselor. We want you to plan and want you to be prepared.
All right. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Charlotte's email is there on the screen, as is mine. And obviously there's the question form. Emily says we've had about 15 or 20 questions come in. I will hop on those tomorrow morning along with Charlotte when we're nice and fresh and start getting some answers to you. Also know that we'll respond to you, but we'll also begin creating an FAQ to link on this page. So if 5 people ask the same question, we'll get you an answer, but then we'll also add it to our FAQ. So we've got kind of a running document for that. Thank you again for being here tonight.
One more thing, and the transcripts, I hope they can follow our transcript, Joy. I don't know. I feel really sorry for Emily. But the transcript of tonight will also be translated for you.
Yes.
For your parent, for your friends or colleagues that want it in Spanish. Yep. So that will also be available. Our transcript. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but
God bless the people doing a transcript of the two of us. Anyway, thank you all for being here this evening. Have a great evening. Feel free to email us or to hit that question link. And thank you again to Emily for hosting us. Good night.